What do you know about limiting beliefs? This is generally in January, we start setting intentions and goals and the whole new year, new me, or new year, new you, however you want to say it, or we choose a word. These are all great things. But then at that time also and throughout the year, we talk about limiting beliefs. So that sounds very pie in the sky. Like anytime we talk about a belief, it sounds like something that, oh, is it actual? How do we change it? Is it a thing? What are the steps? Well, let's dive into that, because as believers, we live from the kingdom, which means we live from the perspective of God. We want to see things the way God sees them. We want to understand things the way God understands them. And we want to live from the being of Christ. And where do limiting beliefs fit into this? So let's do a smidge of neurobrain stuff for a minute. God created the brain to be a pattern recognizing thing, muscle, thing between your ears, whatever you want to call it. But he created us with this brain that is constantly searching for patterns. And once we find a pattern, once the brain finds a pattern that says, okay, this is it, this is how it works. If A plus B equals C, then this is going to be the outcome. And that's not always true. But a limiting belief is literally a pattern that you have adopted, heard, believed, accepted from the beginning of your childhood, from whatever you've lived through, from whatever you've seen, from however your life has gone. These patterns are in place. I'm not saying all patterns are bad, but we're talking about limiting beliefs. And a belief is what you believe. And what you believe sets the pattern. It is the pattern in your brain, and you work from and live from this pattern that then we call a belief. Okay, fine, dandy, whatever. Then we start talking about how do you change your belief system? How do you change how you think? How do you change your life? And there's so many self-help books, which are great, fun, and wonderful. Change the way you think, change your life. They're all based in science. They're all based in that level of this is how the brain works, and then this is maybe how the mind works. So let's back up and let's revisit with the mind a minute. Because the mind is the belief that sets the brain in motion, and the brain sets the body in motion, which is amazing to me because that's how God created us. So here's the deal. If we have all of these patterns that our mind has said, look at this, and the brain said, oh yes, cool, there's a pattern, let's record that, let's stay in that, then how do you change limiting beliefs? How do you get out of negative thought patterns? Well, guess what? God said, take every thought captive. And I know I talk about that all the time, but I want really to break this down to what do you believe, what's limiting, and what does God say? Because when he says take every thought captive, he literally says grab it, look at it, and submit it to the will of Christ. So that means for us in this literal sense, what is the thought? Is it positive? Is it negative? Okay. Positive, yay, let's keep it. Negative, how do I get rid of it? You look at the pattern. What were you thinking before that thought came in? What were you thinking when the thought came in? And what did you do after you had the thought? This is the pattern. Okay. So, gosh, let's see if I can give you an example. Okay, I'm using oil pastels. So a limiting belief could be, and this is very surface here, look, I'm using oil pastels and they're this creamy oil thing and they go on paper and yay, and that's all there is to it. This is the only way I can use it. I have limited my ability to use this particular art supply because I've based it on the idea that this is an oil pastel and this is all I can do with it. Except that's not true. Once I found out, wait, I can use an oil pastel as a mixed media, which means I can use oil pastel, I can use acrylic with it, I can use hard chalk with it, hard pastel with it, I can use oil with it, oil paint. It changes the way I approach what I'm doing. It changes everything, which means it broadens my idea of life, of what I can accomplish with a painting, how many things I can do, how many different directions I can come at it. This is a very, very surface example. But here's the deal. Everything you do all day long is based in habit. What is a habit? A habit is a pattern in your brain that you go through every single day, and it's comfortable and it's normal, and this is what you do. And that's fine, except when that habit or pattern of thought is negative, and then you realize that it's negative, and then you're like, how do I get out of this? Here's how you get out of it, which we're kind of bouncing around. Recognize, take that thought captive, take that habit, look where it came from, then look at the alternative. Well, if I always think I need to get up and I need to brush my teeth first and I need to take a shower and then I need to have coffee. Okay, that's a habit, but it's not a bad habit. But if we wanted to change it, what if you wake up, instead of getting up, brushing your teeth, showering, and having coffee, you wake up, and what if you're picking up your phone and checking social media? What if you're picking up your phone and checking email first? What if that's your habit? If that's your habit, and from there you recognize, oh, I'm checking these things and I'm looking at this stuff online, and my thought pattern goes to, wow, they have a better life than I do. Wow, they're doing all these great things. Wow, why can't I live that? And you immediately go into that negative bent. That's a limiting belief. That's where it forms. That's how you look back and go, oh, wait, if I don't wake up and pick up my phone first thing and look at all of this, then I'm not going to start my day with this negative bias that my life isn't what I want it to be, and it's never going to be what I want it to be, and I can't do this and I can't do that. What if you're looking at your phone before you go to bed at night and you're seeing the same thing? And all of these ideas and thoughts are forming this pattern overnight in your brain, because your brain does not sleep. And then you wake up the next morning and you pick up your phone again and you do the exact same thing. You've just reinforced all of these limiting beliefs. And now you're going to get up and brush your teeth and take a shower and have coffee and wonder, why is my life not where I want it to be? Why can't I do the things I want to do? And guess what? Spoiler alert, I have been right there. This is very close to where my life has been in the past, and a limiting set of beliefs that I am no longer accepting, because now when you see that pattern and you see, oh, I'm doing this the night before, I'm doing it the first thing when I get up, it's cementing, solidifying this thought pattern in my brain that is then turning into a limiting belief. Oh my gosh. So how about if I don't look at my phone before I go to bed? How about if I don't look at my phone and social media when I wake up in the morning? I'm not saying don't use your phone as your alarm clock. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you back up the things that you're doing. You look for the patterns, and it takes work. It will get easier. I promise. It becomes second nature. But when you start, it can be a little difficult because you're not used to paying attention to what you're thinking. And one of the things I always encourage people, and I always want to say, what are the words your thoughts are using? Because your thoughts use words. And are those words negative, or are they blessing? Are they cursing? Are they happy? Are they joyful? Or are they negative? And if they're negative, anything and everything negative does not come from God. It comes from someplace else. So this is my encouragement to you. Limiting beliefs are thought patterns, and they can be changed. You just follow the rabbit trail back to where the thought started. Then you find the pattern, and then you remove it with the truth. And the truth is, as believers, we live from the kingdom.